Imagine this scenario with me. You're 52 years old. You've been grinding for 30 years. You've done everything right, maxed out your 401k every single year, got the employer match, invested in low-cost index funds, stayed the course through every market crash, and now you're sitting on $1.8 million in your retirement accounts. You're exhausted. Your job is killing your soul. You've run the numbers, and you know you could live comfortably on $65,000 a year, which means your nest egg could easily sustain you for the rest of your life. You're ready to retire. You've earned it. But here's the problem. And this is the part that makes me genuinely frustrated with how retirement accounts are structured in this country. You can't touch that money, not without getting absolutely hammered by penalties. That $1.8 million is sitting right there. It's yours. You earned it, you saved it. But if you try to access it before age 59 and a half, the IRS is going to take a 10% penalty right off the top. Plus, you'll owe income taxes on everything you withdraw. On a $65,000 withdrawal, you're looking at potentially $20,000 or more going straight to the government every single year for 7.5 years until you hit 59 and a half. So what do? Do you keep working a job you hate for almost another decade just because your money is trapped in the wrong type of account? This is the timing mismatch that nobody talks about when they're telling you to max out your 401k. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how to solve it. My name is Bobby, and I spent way too much time thinking about early retirement strategies and the structural problems with tax-advantaged accounts. If you're someone who dreams of retiring before the traditional age, who has been diligently saving in a 401k, but is starting to realize you might be building a golden prison you can't escape from, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give this video a thumbs up if this helps you out. Because here's the thing. The financial advice industry has done a fantastic job of convincing everyone to max out their 401k. And don't get me wrong, that's generally good advice. The tax benefits are real. The employer match is free money. But what almost nobody explains is that for anyone who wants the option to retire before 59 and a half, relying solely on tax-advantaged accounts creates a massive problem. You end up with a ton of money you can't access when you need it most. Today, we're going to talk about something I call the bridge account, a taxable brokerage account specifically designed to fund your life during the gap years between early retirement and when your traditional retirement accounts become accessible. This is the missing piece of the early retirement puzzle, and I'm going to break down exactly how to build it, how to size it, and why it might be the most important account you're not currently funding. Let me explain the fundamental problem with how most people are saving for retirement, because once you understand this, you'll never look at your 401k the same way again. The 401k was designed in 1978 as a supplement to pension plans. The assumption built into its structure is that you would work until your mid-60s, receive a pension, and then use your 401k as additional retirement income. The early withdrawal penalty, that 10% fee before age 59 and a half, was designed as a deterrent to keep people from raiding their retirement savings before they actually retired. But here's what's changed since 1978. Pensions have basically disappeared, life expectancy has increased, and a growing number of people don't want to or can't work until their mid-60s. According to a 2023 study from the Employee Benefit Research Institute, nearly 40% of retirees left the workforce earlier than planned, often due to health issues, caregiving responsibilities, or job loss. And the average actual retirement age in America is 62, not 65 or 67. So we have this system designed around the assumption of working until your 60s, combined with a penalty structure that punishes you for accessing money before 59 and a half, and a workforce reality where many people are done working well before that threshold. The mismatch is obvious once you see it. Here's what most people don't realize. If you're aggressively saving in your 401k and IRA, but ignoring taxable brokerage accounts, you're essentially making a bet that you'll work until at least 59 and a half. You're locking your money away until a specific birthday. And for some people, that bet works out fine. But for anyone who wants optionality, the ability to choose when they stop working, that bet is a problem. Because even if you have millions saved, if it's all in pre-tax retirement accounts, you don't actually have the freedom you thought you were building. You have a really nice pile of money that you can't use, with severe consequences for nearly a decade after you might want to stop working. Now, you might be thinking, Bobby, aren't there ways to access 401k money early? I've heard of Rule of 55 and SEP and Roth conversion ladders. And yes, these strategies exist, and we'll touch on them briefly. But here's my honest take after spending way too much time studying these options. They're all either limited in scope, complicated to execute, or require years of advanced planning. The Rule of 55 only works if you leave your employer in the calendar year you turn 55 or later, and only for that specific employer's 401k. SEP requires you to take substantially equal periodic payments for at least 5 years, or until you turn 59 and a half, whichever is longer, with very little flexibility. Roth conversion ladders require a 5-year waiting period for each conversion, meaning you need to start the process at least 5 years before you need the money. These are useful tools, and I'm not saying ignore them, but they're complicated, they're inflexible, and they still leave gaps. The simplest, most flexible solution is to have a bridge account that you can access whenever you want with no penalties, no complicated rules, and no waiting periods. So let's talk about what a bridge account actually is and how it works. A bridge account is simply a taxable brokerage account held at Fidelity, Vanguard, Schwab, or wherever you like, that you fund with after-tax dollars and invest for the long term. Unlike a 401k or IRA, there are no contribution limits, no age restrictions on withdrawals, and no early withdrawal penalties. When you sell investments in a taxable brokerage account, you pay capital gains taxes on your profits, but that's it. No extra 10% penalty, no mandatory waiting until a certain age. If you need the money at 45, you can take it. If you need it at 52, you can take it. The flexibility is complete. Here's the mental model I want you to have. Think of your retirement savings in 3 buckets. Bucket 1 is your tax-advantaged accounts, your 401k, your traditional IRA, your 403b, whatever. This money gets the best tax treatment during accumulation, but it's locked up until 59 and a half. Bucket 2 are your Roth accounts, Roth IRA, Roth 401k. Contributions can be withdrawn any time without penalty, but earnings are locked up until 59 and a half. More flexible than traditional accounts, but still not fully accessible. Bucket 3 is your taxable brokerage, your bridge account. This money doesn't get any special tax treatment during accumulation, but it's completely accessible at any time, at any age, for any reason. Most people focus almost exclusively on Bucket 1 because that's what the financial advice industry emphasizes. Max out your 401k is the mantra. And sure, if you're planning to work until 60 or beyond, that works. But if you want the option to retire earlier, you need Bucket 3. You need a bridge.
Let me give you a concrete example of how this works in practice. Let's say Maria is 35 years old and wants to retire at 50. She makes $120,000 per year and expects her early retirement expenses to be $60,000 annually. She needs to fund 2 distinct phases of her retirement: the bridge years from 50 to 59 and a half, and the traditional retirement years from 59 and a half onward. For the bridge years, she needs about 9.5 years of expenses accessible without penalty. That's $60,000 times 9.5, which equals $570,000 in her bridge account by age 50. For the traditional retirement years, she needs her 401k and IRA to handle everything from 59 and a half until she dies. Assuming a 4% withdrawal rate, she'd want roughly $1.5 million in tax-advantaged accounts by 59 and a half. So Maria's plan is clear. Build the bridge account to $570,000 by 50, build the retirement accounts to $1.5 million by 59 and a half, and use each bucket for its intended purpose during the appropriate phase. This is where it gets really interesting, because the math of building a bridge account is actually very achievable for people with decent incomes who are willing to prioritize it. Let me walk through how you would actually calculate what you need and how to get there. The first step is determining your bridge period, the number of years between your target early retirement age and 59 and a half. If you want to retire at 55, your bridge period is 4.5 years. If you want to retire at 45, your bridge period is 14.5 years. If you want to retire at 50, your bridge period is 9.5 years. The length of this period determines how much you need in your bridge account. The second step is estimating your annual expenses during the bridge period. This is usually lower than your pre-retirement spending.